Let's talk about something that sounds completely backwards. The idea that being smarter can actually make you worry more. We're going to dive into what some people call the high IQ curse.
So let me just start by asking you this straight up. Do you ever feel like you're just worrying and overthinking things way more than everyone else around you? Well, if you're nodding your head right now, then congratulations. Turns out that constant buzz in your brain might not be a bug, it might actually be a feature. It could be a sign that you're highly intelligent. I know, it sounds weird, but the research points right to it.
This is exactly what we mean by the high IQ curse. Let's get into how your own intelligence, your greatest asset, can sometimes feel like it's turning against you. This is a perfect way to picture it. For a lot of people, their brain feels like a calm little cloud just drifting by. But for someone with a really high IQ, it can feel more like a giant thunderstorm is brewing in their head, just constantly crackling with the lightning of new thoughts, new connections, and, well, new worries. So here's the main idea. High intelligence can basically act like a high-performance engine for worry. And get this, some research even suggests that a higher IQ can mean a physically larger worry center in the brain. It's almost like your brain is literally built to be more on edge. So, what's the actual science here? Let's take a look at why this powerful mental engine gets stuck in the worry gear so often. The numbers really tell the story. Okay, so in the general population, about 5% of people get diagnosed with an anxiety disorder. But if you look at members of Mensa, the high IQ society, that number skyrockets to 20%. That's 4 times higher. This isn't just a hunch, it's a real measurable pattern. So why does this happen? Well, a huge piece of the puzzle is advanced pattern recognition. A highly intelligent brain is incredible at connecting dots. The only problem is, sometimes it's so good that it starts connecting dots that aren't even really there. It can take 3 simple random facts and turn them into a giant scary constellation, predicting problems that have almost zero chance of ever happening. And that leads to a feeling that I bet many of you know all too well. It's like having 37 browser tabs open in your mind at all times. Every tab is a different scenario, a different thought, a different worry. And just like a computer, your brain starts to lag. It gets totally overwhelmed, and you can almost feel the mental smoke coming out of your ears. All of this mental chaos often channels itself in a very specific way. A really powerful mind, especially one with strong language skills, can become its own personal disaster writer, just scripting catastrophes all day long. Let's make this super relatable. Someone's taking a while to text you back. The average response is probably something like, they must be busy. But the high IQ brain, whoa, it immediately starts spinning out all these different stories. Are they mad at me? Did I say something wrong? What if they got into an accident? It just jumps straight to the most dramatic plot twists. And this is so important. Your verbal ability, a key sign of intelligence, actually becomes a disaster scenario writer. Having a big vocabulary doesn't just mean you're good at crosswords. It means you can describe potential disasters to yourself in vivid, terrifying detail. And in that moment, it really does feel like a curse. Okay, so that's the problem. It's intense. But what's the solution? Is there one? The good news is yes. There is a way to tame your powerful brain. First thing you have to do is reframe this whole thing. Your brain isn't the enemy here. Think of it like a Ferrari engine. It's incredibly powerful, it's built for performance. The problem isn't the engine. It's that a Ferrari engine absolutely hates being idle. When it's left in neutral, all it does is rev and sputter and make a ton of noise. And that noise, that's your anxiety. So the solution is actually pretty simple. You have to give that Ferrari engine a real track to race on. First, you have to recognize that your anxiety is often just a sign that your brain is bored and looking for a problem to chew on. Second, you have to consciously channel all that mental horsepower into a really complex and engaging task. When you do that, you can literally watch that anxious lightning transform into focused, productive energy. So what kind of task are we talking about? Really, anything that's a good puzzle. It could be something logical like Sudoku or coding, or something creative like learning a musical instrument. It could be learning a new language, or even just diving headfirst into a really complex problem you have at work. The only rule is that it has to be challenging enough to completely occupy your high-performance brain. So what's the bottom line here? That Ferrari engine in your head doesn't have to be a disaster scenario writer. It just needs a mission. By understanding that your anxiety is often just a powerful mind looking for a real problem to solve, you can take control. So I'll leave you with this question. Today, what puzzle will you give your brain?